Hello, my people. Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in every single day to listen to me on Daily Mind Shift. My name is Michael Ojuola for Mindset Transformation Africa, and on today's episode, I want to talk about the power of silence. Let me anchor today's episode on this statement. There is dignity in silence, and when not in silence, then in brevity. There is dignity in silence, and when not in silence, then in brevity. So today we will challenge the noise of this world with thoughts that inspire you. All right. Have you ever stopped to notice just how loud the world has become? We are surrounded by a 24/7 cycle of opinions, debates, advertisements, social media posts, texts, emails, conversations, most of which demand our attention, but they don't always deserve our attention. And because of this, many of us have become uncomfortable with silence. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence without feeling the need to feel it, without reaching for your phone, without turning on the television or engaging in small talk just to avoid the awkwardness of silence? The world is noisy, but not just in sound. The noise comes from overstimulation, overcommunication, and an overwhelming demand to speak, to reply, to be heard. In all of this, we've lost something that is deeply valuable, and that is the dignity of silence and the respect for brevity. See, there is a quiet strength in silence, not the kind of silence that is born from avoidance or fear, but intentional silence. The kind of silence that chooses to listen instead of speak, chooses to reflect instead of react. Silence allows us to connect with our thoughts, to be deliberate, and to respond with intention rather than emotion. The ancient philosopher Lao Tzu once said that silence is a source of great strength. Why is that? Because silence creates space, and in that space we find clarity. In that space we realize that not every question demands an answer. Not every argument requires our participation, and not every situation is bettered by our voice. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is knowing when your words will add value and when your words won't add value. See, sometimes the need to feel silence comes from ego. We feel the need to prove ourselves. We feel the need to be seen and to dominate a conversation. But the strongest people in the room are often the quietest. They listen more than they speak. They observe before they act. They understand that power is not always in the volume of your voice, but in the impact of your words. Ask yourself this. How much of what you say is driven by a need to be validated? How often do you just speak just to avoid feeling left out or irrelevant? True confidence does not need constant verbal reinforcement. It knows that silence can speak louder than words ever could. When silence is not an option, though, brevity is the next best thing. Whenever you are in a situation that you cannot be silent, be brief. Think about some of the most profound messages you've heard or read. Chances are that they were not long-winded speeches or essays. They were concise, they were memorable, they were impactful. Quotes like, "Less is more," "Action speaks louder than words," "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Each of these statements is brief, but their brevity makes them more powerful. They don't need extra words because they've stripped away the unnecessary to reveal the essence of truth. The same applies to our daily conversations. When you choose your words carefully, when you strip away the fluff, your message becomes sharper, it becomes clearer, it becomes more effective. And you might also wonder, how can silence or brevity make me more influential? I think the answer lies in perception. People respect those who don't waste their words. When you speak only when necessary and you keep your words impactful, others start to pay attention to you. They don't know when they know that when you open your mouth, it is worth listening to. You can contrast this with the person who talks constantly, filling every moment with noise. Over time, people will tune out. Their words will lose weight because there is too much of them. Here's what I want you to learn. Silence and brevity are not just about saying less. No. They are about saying more with less. They force you to focus on what truly matters. See, nature itself teaches us the power of silence and brevity. Think of a thunderstorm. It doesn't last all day, but its impact lingers long after it is over. Think of the sunrise or the changing of seasons. Nature doesn't announce itself with noise, but its presence is profound and undeniable. We can learn from this. We don't have to announce every thought or explain every feeling. No. Sometimes our presence, our actions, or our silence are enough to make an impression. Let's talk about what happens when we ignore silence and brevity. See, over-communication can dilute your message. Have you ever tried to explain something only to realize halfway through that you are losing your audience? Maybe you added too many details, you repeated yourself too often, you simply talk too long. When you over-communicate, your audience stops listening. The power of your message gets lost in the noise. And this doesn't just happen in speeches or presentation. It happens in relationships too. How many arguments could be avoided if we learn to say less? How many misunderstandings comes from saying too much too quickly, and saying too much too quickly without thinking? And this brings me to a crucial point. Silence is especially powerful in conflict. When tensions are high, our instinct is often to defend ourselves, to explain, or to retaliate. But silence can diffuse a situation faster than words could ever do. So silence gives you time to think. It allows the other person to reflect. It takes the heat out of the moment. And sometimes silence communicates what words cannot. It says, I'm here, but I'm not engaging with this energy. And silence is not just about not speaking. It is about listening too. Listening is one of the most underrated skills in this world today. When you truly listen, you're not just waiting for your turn to talk. You are absorbing. You are understanding. You are knowing. You are showing respect for the other person's thoughts. You are showing respect for the other person's feelings. Listening is an act of generosity. It's saying that I value what you have to say. And in doing so, it deepens relationships and it builds trust. So, how can you embrace silence and brevity? I think you need to practice the pause. Before you speak, pause. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Will this add value? Sometimes the moment of reflection is enough to stop unnecessary words. And also learn how to use fewer words. Challenge yourself to express your thoughts in fewer words. Think about the core message that you want to convey, that you want to communicate, and you focus on that. Also, create silent moments. Build intentional silence into your day. It could be through meditation, through walking in nature, or simply turning off all distractions for a while. Create silent moments in your day and listen more. In conversations, prioritize listening over talking. You'll be surprised at how much you learn and how much respect you gain when you listen more than you talk. And finally, write, then edit. If you're writing an email, you're writing a speech, you're writing a text, you're writing a chat, write it out, then cut it down. Eliminate anything that doesn't add value. So in this world that glorifies noise, silence and brevity are acts of rebellion. They are acts of wisdom. They remind us that we don't need to shout to be heard, and we don't need to say much to make an impact. So today I challenge you, embrace the dignity of silence. And when you speak, let brevity be your guide. Say less but mean more. Listen more but judge less. And remember, the power of your voice lies not in how much you